Welcome to another edition of Family and Friends Day. I'm your grateful host, BC, Rotor BC Productions. It is an honor and a privilege to have a great friend of mine, a guest to the show this week on this edition, Dorian Rae. He is the founder of Lucky Gent clothing, known as Gent Lucky on Instagram, of course, but we'll get to that later. But I had a little slip there. But how are you doing this morning, Dorian?
I'm fine. Thank you, Anthony, for this platform, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to talk about my brand this morning. It's truly a blessing.
Absolutely. I guess it's only right we just get started, jump right into it, to humble beginnings, and where you're from, what kind of got you on this journey that you are now, and let's go from there.
Absolutely. Well, I come from a military background. My dad was in the Air Force. We traveled a lot growing up. Had a chance to see the world at a very young age. When I was graduating from high school, I was dabbling in and out of fashion designing, just something that just really attracted me. And so upon high school graduation, that was I wanted to go to a fashion art institute, right? But long story short, ended up getting a degree in political science from Wright State University. And after that, I just kind of dabbled in and out of fashion. My first brand that I launched was called Tour Gear International. I had some minimal success with that. And then, I think after that, I kind of put it on the shelf, right? I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do moving forward. So I just basically, worked. I have a career in higher education administration. So I've been an administrator at several institutions around the Bay Area. Right now, I'm currently working as a director at St. Mary's. I worked at San Francisco State, worked at JFK University. I worked at National University. So higher education is really my career path, but I just have this love for fashion design. And so actually, after having moved here from the Bay Area and moving to the Bay Area in 2012, I was dabbling in and out of fashion again, right? It just seems like one of those things that just keeps reoccurring in my life. So I had the opportunity to be able to work with and meet some really great people here in the Bay Area. And so finally I decided, you know what, it's now or never. So what am I going to do, right? I have this love, I have this fire. I want to create and be creative. And so that outlet, in the past has always been fashion. And so, again, I just decided to, I guess, just kind of capitalize on that goal and that dream. And the Bay Area has actually been a wonderful opportunity for me. So in 2018, I'm sorry, I'm just sitting around thinking, what am I going to do for the next couple of years? I had a great job, that's going well, but seemed like there was always something else that I wanted to do. And so I said, why don't we create a fashion line? And so I just kind of sat back, thought of some names, thought about me, thought about what I wanted to express in the brand. And I just kind of came up with the name Lucky Gent. And so there's a great philosopher whose name is Seneca, right? He's got this line that everybody knows. It's, there's no such thing as luck, right? It's when preparation and opportunity meet. Right. Yeah. So for me, it was a great opportunity to be able to launch this brand. And part of it is the fact that, the preparation was having held leadership positions in higher education administration, which really gave me, additional foundation and background to be able to have a strategic plan, implementation, be able to delegate work out to different people in order to, create something unique and something special. So I came up with the name, and lo and behold, before I think most people maybe search for a domain name first, right? And so luckily, the domain name was actually available. So I created the logo, bought the domain name, and then launched it from there. And so it's been challenging and it's been rewarding. And I've had a lot of help along the way from some really great people here in the Bay Area, including Paula Fotenauer with Jasia, Samson Keller with Maximilian, my girlfriend, Simone Olsberg has been tremendous in helping me, in addition to support from additional friends and family.
That's great, Dorian. I'm happy to hear that, and that's definitely more of an imprint I think we need. Where we are, not only where we are, but also just in the culture in general, man. I love what you do as far as that goes. And you mentioned how you've always loved fashion. That goes back to some things that I found about you, about how your mom had a big influence on your love for fashion and how she was able to really create that indelible mark on you moving forward in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, our first stylist, are our parents, our moms in particular. And so, there's this picture of me that my mom has, it's probably maybe a year old. I'm sitting on this blanket, I have on this sharp blue blazer, I got on my little white shoes and these knee-high socks, and it's just a great picture. And I just kind of go back and look at all the pictures, of my youth. And I mean, I wasn't necessarily picking out the clothes. I kind of had an idea what I liked, but my mom, had a great eye for fashion, right? Great eye for style, and began to, style me and see, this is what you should wear. This is the latest, right? And what really looked good. And so, my mom used to make make her own clothes back in high school. And so, I think that's just, in the gene pool. And so, I just have to give much respect to my mom, for having, lit that spark, unknowingly in me, which now, brings me to where I am today.
Yeah, and we always, it's often been said about, our mothers being our first teachers, and I always credit my mom for that. She had a huge impact on my life in that regard. And clearly your mom was your first teacher as far as fashion, among a lot of other things I could imagine. But when it came to your life and fashion and a lot of things that you were into, were you one that kind of went with the times and with the trends when it came to fashion, or were you someone who kind of went with your own style and kind of went left when everybody else went right growing up?
I was pretty standard, right? I think, I like to enhance what was something simple, right? So take a cardigan sweater, right? This is like my style back in high school. I would rock a cardigan sweater, and I put a nice little brooch on it, right? Or instead of wearing a bow tie, right, I put a brooch on the collar, right? So it was a matter of taking something that's classic and just maybe enhancing it just a little bit more to add my own style and a little bit of my own flavor and taste to it. And I think that's, kind of what, you're seeing in the brand now, right? It is, we're not really trying to capture on trends. I mean, we really like classy styles, right? Timeless styles, something that you can wear 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And so basically, behind, the brand and the line, we want to ensure that we are creating, quality apparel, that's also timeless.
Mm-hmm. And I won't name drop any other brands because it's all about Lucky Gent, but there are certain brands that we're very familiar with that they stand the test of time because they stick to that classic aesthetic. They don't waver from that. They don't try to see what everybody's doing now or what people might be doing in 2 or 3 years. It's consistently the same. It's been like that for years. And Lucky Gent is well on its way to being a major player in that regard too.
Blessings. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we capture a little bit of the, a little bit of the European flavor and a little bit of the African influence as well, right? So it's really a combination of both of those cultures that we've combined in our attire and our apparel to add just a little bit of twist to it, but still have it really classy, really classic, timeless pieces, quality material, right? We are really using all natural fabrics when we talk about creating for suits and also for shirts as well. So we just want to make sure that we're mindful that, when it comes to apparel that we're creating for folks, that we are using some whole natural fabrics, wools, rayons, silk, bamboo. So I think that just adds to us as a brand and how we kind of differentiate ourselves in the marketplace by using all natural fabrics.
Yeah, and you mentioned the African influence. I know recently you went to Morocco in 2019, I believe, and you were really inspired by, color combinations and blockings and fabrics. And people don't realize how influential that region of the world has on our fashion to this day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was a great experience, and the ability to be able to, purchase textiles, in person, on the continent of Africa was just a truly a blessing, number one. And, just seeing all the different types of colors, it really gives you, it was inspiring to be able to see the multitudes of color combinations, because that, opened my eyes to be able to say, to, what's the word I want to use, to be more creative.
Right.
Incorporate colors that, people might not think go together, right? And, if you have it if you have it aligned right, if you have the right hues, I mean, anything can be created, to really not only kind of set us apart as a brand, but also, influence others in their style. So I think that's also the other part of it as well.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that can be bought, that can transcend borders, that can transcend generations. And that's a very important thing too. Are there any particular styles that you are favorable to, that's a part of your line?
Well, we're going to be coming out with some suits in the summer, right? Mm-hmm. And so our suits are really just tailored off of some old classic timeless suits, something that you would probably see, maybe in the, late 50s, maybe early 60s, something that really enhances and fits, a gentleman or even a woman who wants to purchase a suit from us, right? And so we really want to capture on those really timeless and classic, pieces. So we are really just wanting to make sure that we are using, again, quality fabric, material that is, good to the touch, right? Because when you're not only looking at the fabric, it's appealing to the eye, but it's also appealing to the touch, right? So we want to make sure that we're using some really nice, soft fabrics, so that when you put that jacket on or you put that shirt on, it feels comfortable on the skin. And so, coming out, we have shirts available right now. I'm actually wearing one of my Lucky Gent shirts here. And so this is actually made of rayon, right? And so again, it's really about just really incorporating some old styles and some new styles together to really just forge forward as a brand, to really create something a little bit different, but it's also standard as well. And so again, for us, it's really, we want to create those pieces that, somebody can put on, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and still looks good. I think we can all attest to maybe a jacket or a shirt, or a tie or something that we have in our wardrobe, that stands the test of time, right? You bought it 10 years ago, you can pull it out of the closet now, and it still looks great, and people still comment on that. So for us, that's what we want to do. And also for Lucky Gent, our really thing is this, when you go on an interview or you're going on a date or, you're just going to hang out with friends, everybody has that certain piece of apparel that they pull out, right? Maybe it's your favorite jacket. When you put this jacket on, you know what you're rocking. Or you're going to that interview, right? You always have this suit, because when you wear this suit, you typically get that job or you look the best in that suit, right? Because it actually adds that extra confidence, right? So right. That is us as a brand as well, right? Everything that we're creating as a brand, we want that to go to you as the customer, to be able to put that on and just boost that confidence level that you already have. It just provides that extra shine. So that's in addition what we're also about as a brand, right? We're just not about that clothing and apparel and how it looks on the outside, but it's also that feeling on the inside that you get when you put on that apparel from Lucky Gent.
Yeah, and clothes just accentuate who we are. It brings out the best. We're already great, but it just accentuates and really puts it out there to the world, to let the world know, hey, we're great, and it makes us feel good on the inside. And I play basketball recreationally. Even on that, that's more athletic gear, of course, but it's been said, you feel like you play better when you dress a certain way, when you have certain shorts or certain socks or
Absolutely.
shoes. It can be parlayed over to your line of the fashion world as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think everybody can attest to that. Exactly, your statement is so true. When you dress a certain way, you feel a certain way, and you feel unstoppable. And
Yes,
that's what we want people, and that's what we want people to feel like on an everyday level. It's like, I'm putting this apparel on, I feel like nobody can stop me. It's like an armor, right?
yes.
Ready to take on the world.
Let's get it. And folks,
Absolutely.
yeah, folks, I want y'all to pay attention. Dorian here has Superman suits all available throughout his line, Lucky Gent. So you put these things on, I'm telling you, it's gonna make you feel like a new person. I can't wait to get some of this stuff myself. So I'm really excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as far as we're going into 2020, everybody knows what kind of year we had last year, of course. Going into 2021, we're in the spring now, going into the summer eventually. What do you see for that particular time of year? That's the time of year when you see more of the more you see less of the more restrictive stuff and more of the free flowing type of materials. What do you see for the spring and summer of 2021 in your line?
For 2021, we're actually going to have our suits developed. So we have it already in production. We hope to have those out, probably sometime mid-July. And
Okay.
then the rest of it's actually going to be shirts, just like I'm wearing today. And so the shirts are very light, very comfortable. What's great about the shirts is that you can either wear it dressed up, in a sports coat, or you can rock it without a sports coat, right? And so it is free flowing and free for anyone who's going to be buying these shirts, because again, it just gives, for us as a brand, we want to make sure that, comfortability, right? I mean, your comfort level wearing clothes and what it feels like, again, on your skin. And so for us, it's going to be coming out with more shirts this summer. I'm probably going to come out with more hats as well. So we have more hats, men's and women's, that will be coming out with, and always the bow ties, right? Because we feel that bow tie, really says something about you as a person when you're rocking that bow tie, because it's not something that you see people wear every day. So again, we're going to have more apparel out, as in shirts, new suits coming out in the summer, additional hats for men and women, and more bow ties. And there's always the Lucky Gent t-shirts, right? I mean, who doesn't love a t-shirt? So we are going to have those available as well.
Yes, and variety is the spice of life, and Lucky Gent is definitely adding that spice that is necessary for our lives, for sure. Now that we've talked about what's coming up for you, this year, what do you see for the long term beyond 2021? The bigger vision for Lucky Gent, and what type of impact do you want it to have on its supporters and people who wear the brand?
I mean, our goal is actually to be a preferred men's brand. I mean, that is the goal ultimately, right? We want to be, on the same level as some of your, I don't necessarily want to say some of your major brands that people hear of, but we want to be on the level of some of the major brands that people don't know. I think that's really where it's at for us, right? We want to continue to enhance our brand by providing a wide array of suits, hats, bow ties, and shirts. And for us as a brand, one thing that we are really intentional on is really not trying to create apparel just for the sake of creating apparel, right? I mean,
Right.
one good thing about us is that we have 5 things right now, and we want to be really good at those 5 things: quality suits, quality shirts, quality hats, quality bow ties, right? And
Yes.
then maybe in the future, we'll begin to expand into offerings for women as well, right? Skirts and tops. Because honestly, when I first started my first brand, I was actually creating skirts for women. So that's something that I want to get back into as well. So long term, we're going to continue to concentrate on the offerings that we have now, and then expand into a women's line as well. So hopefully within the next 5 years, we'll be able to, move forward with that goal of, continuing to create what we're creating now and adding some additional apparel items, for women, because they have been big supporters, and women love fashion just as much as men.
Yes, and in most cases, a lot of cases, they're more fashionable than the fellas too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hence your mom, and going forward. But definitely, this it's really been exciting. It's been a pleasure to have this discussion today. Tell everybody where they can find Lucky Gent and how to support the brand and wear this merchandise, this great merchandise.
Absolutely. Well, we are a e-commerce brand, so we are strictly online. You can find Lucky Gent at www.luckygent.com. Right
Okay.
now, we are offering 15% off. Code is Lucky15. So you can go straight to the website. You can peruse our hats, our bow ties, our shirts, and our tees, and you can purchase from there. And make sure you follow us on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @GentLucky. And actually, you can see from the beginning of, the brand and where we started from and where we're at now.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dorian. And I will let everyone know in the show notes where to go to the brand. I'll provide links. I'll provide your social media information to the brand. And so that way people can have a direct link to that. But thank you so much for your time. Folks, it's been another edition of Family and Friends Day. I thank you all for joining in, and see everybody next week.
Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it. Have a great day.